Welcome back to the Nerdrotic podcast. My name is Gary Buechler. I am live in San Francisco, California. I come to you from nerdrotic.com. And down in San Diego, California, is my good friend, Dennis Bithoulkas. What is up, Dennis?
Nothing much. I'm just trying to laugh so that you can actually be first on the camera there.
I know.
You know, with your throat clearing, whatever the hell that was.
That was my best Ron Burgundy right there. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. Hi, everybody. It's Friday night, and this is our Friday night live stream where you in the chat get to help guide the show, and we just pretty much talk to you for a couple hours. We try to throw some topics on the table. Most of the time, you guys don't take, and I don't blame you at all. But we've got some news items today, but we're going to start out with a little recap, non-spoiler. We watched the first, I've watched the first 4 episodes. Dennis watched the first episode of Jessica Jones season 2. So let's get into it, Dennis. What are you thinking so far of Jessica Jones?
I'm actually kind of liking the camera work a bit, tell you the truth. I'm liking some parts are in focus, some parts are not within the same picture, and it looks kind of surreal, almost like you're drunk a little bit. And I'm thinking that's what they were doing intentionally to kind of make you think that you're looking through Jessica's eyes.
Her drunk eyes. Okay. So you like the camera work. How about that story?
The story too. I love the story. But then again, I'm a big Jessica Jones fan. And so what I saw in the first episode so far, I'm really digging.
Okay. Well, I really dug season 1. Okay. I dug it a lot. And my biggest worry for season 2 was like, how is it going to be without David Tennant? Because a hero is only as good as their villain. But Kristen Ritter is really good as Jessica Jones. I've always thought Jessica Jones was the biggest missed opportunity for Marvel because she was supposed to be Jessica Drew. She was supposed to be Spider-Woman, and it would have just the impact. The story was so good anyway. Could you imagine if that was Spider-Woman? It would have been so much better.
It would have been cool.
Here we are. The first season was a great adaptation of Bendis's run on Jessica Jones. The only thing I'm going in that was not liking is that she's not with Luke Cage, and they're not going to put her with Luke Cage. They've gone away from that, and that's a huge missed opportunity.
I don't know. I'll tell you the truth. Kind of with this, where the storyline is going so far, I think they might tie it in with Luke Cage, and that's what ends up bringing them together, to tell you the truth.
Maybe. I don't think they're going to, and I think it's for some pretty bad reasons. Basically, it being 2018, and I won't go any further than that. You can fill in on the with your imagination. But the episode 1 was good. I'm intrigued. I won't go. We're not going to spoil any of this. We're going to spoil it. We're doing Jessica Jones review part 1 and 2. We're going to do part 1 on Saturday, part 2 on Sunday or Monday, probably Sunday. I think we have a schedule for Sunday. So yeah, I loved the first episode. I really did. I like the character work. I'm a huge fan of Trish. I guess a lot of people thought she was annoying. I like Trish, but
I like Trish too.
I love Hellcat as a character. She's one of those old school defenders that I like. But it's really I'm tempering this because I heard they went full on Lifetime on this one, so which is fine. The ladies deserve one, especially after The Punisher, which was a straight up dude fest, and I loved it. And it's still early on, and pretty much other than Daredevil, I'm always skeptical of a Netflix Marvel series until I see the ending, and it's usually the ending that brings it together. So we'll see.
I still remember your Punisher episode 2. This show fucking sucks.
Yep. I hated how they changed the trailer. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was pissed.
And I was in Vancouver.
It was good.
I was in Vancouver. I actually told my friend, I'm like, Gary doesn't like episode 2, but by the end, he's going to tell me that he loves the series. And sure enough, he had burned through the entire series while I was in Vancouver. He goes, I love this show, man. It's awesome.
Yep. Hey, man, I'm an in the moment dude. Okay.
Well, I know.
Shit can change. It doesn't, man, when the wind blows. All right. So, but it was a good first episode. It was, and I'll say it carries through to the 4 episodes I've seen. It gets an intriguing little story. So we start out. This is post Defenders, and Jessica is she's still reeling from taking a life, and this is from season 1. And they kind of insinuate that she's missing Daredevil too, the death of, because Daredevil's dead to everybody else. So she is doubling down on that, and that's why she's drinking. She even mentions, like, to one of the characters that being a hero gets you killed. So that was a direct reference to Daredevil. But Trish does some really screwed up things, and this is prior to the stuff she gets into later. This is just beginning with Trish, we'll just say, who is the best character through the 4 episodes that I've seen. But we also, so I don't know. What do you think of Trish? Especially with we get to see Jessica's got a missing 20 days in her life. And that's what the story looks like it's going to center around, is her time in the hospital after her car accident with her parents, where all her parents died, and she was in a coma. But it turns out she wasn't in a coma in the hospital the whole time, possibly, maybe. I won't get any more details than that. So we start getting like flashbacks to her origin, which is very interesting. And we got this shadowy organization called IGH.
Yes.
I keep on hearing IGN in my head. I'm like, the website?
It's supposed to be a hospital. It's I can't remember what it was called in the comics. And I know it's a hospital organization, but yeah, here it's something else. And yeah, so Trish has a boyfriend now, who's a reporter, who she works with,
who she works with, and she works in the radio station. Her ratings are starting to slump, so she needs to
TV station.
Trish Talk is a radio station.
That's right. He's TV. She's
TV.
Radio.
She's radio, and she needs to spike the ratings, so she's trying to get Jessica to talk more about the super stuff. Jessica's going through and then this is another thing. I'm like, okay, and I kind of bitched about this in the Defenders. It's like, I know she's traumatized, and they've got a good reason why she's still traumatized. But I mean, like, Jessica's got a lot of trauma. Okay, she does. Malcolm is still there. And there is hints. This is written by Melissa Rosenberg, who did Twilight, and I watched all the Twilight movies with my wife. It's a badge of honor that I survived that. And the one thing I never understood about Twilight is, what was the main character's name? Bella or Belle or whatever her name is. Is like really not nice. She's just not a nice person, but everybody seems to be falling over themselves trying to like be her friend. And I'm like, why? What is special about her other than she's snotty, So Jessica, it could have gotten into that, but it doesn't, because Kristen Ritter's like properly sarcastic, but she still like has little moments of like being a good person, and it comes through. So I understand why people fall over themselves.
Hey, Johnny, thank you.
Johnny Pop is $1.99. Thank you, sir.
That's the favorite tip here, is $1.99.
Hey, I'll take it. That's about what we're worth. Yeah, pretty much. To be honest with you, we might be getting overpaid a little bit there. So, I don't know. Yeah. Take us through a little bit of what did you like about the episode?
What I like so far is we do get some couple of Easter eggs, some Marvel Easter eggs. I'm not going to say what on. There's one I still need to go check back on, because I was actually asking Gary about this before in our very long pre-production meeting, and I'm going to go back and check on it again to make sure that I heard what that was right, if it was right or not. And I'm also liking that, if they tie this in with Luke Cage, with this storyline, I could see these characters coming together. I know you're saying they're going to be separated apart, but I think they're actually going to be coming together because of this, and hopefully that's the direction they're going to go with it. So, and also, she is a really damaged character, and what I'm seeing so far in this is that they're actually going to have her work through this stuff so that we can have a more put together character, kind of like the comics, in a way where she's worked through all her shit and she's now actually kind of a solid person.
Yeah, and part of the reason working through all that stuff is Luke Cage,
Yeah.
having somebody she can trust. Because remember, she's got no family. She's got her friends, but things change. And but with the Luke Cage thing, it's not going to happen. They've practically come out and said it. Again, just put two and two together. It sucks. It's because we live in these really weird times right now, and it's. I'll use a word that I hate. That it's problematic. We'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that, and that sucks because it's a good relationship, and in this weird reversing world we live in, yeah, I just don't. I don't think they're going to do it. Which is weird because they'll do other things, which is fine. So I don't know. Trish does the most screwed up thing in this episode. I thought this was in the second episode, but I guess it was in the first one.
No, it was in the
I
first
watched them late last night after our little soiree at the secret agent salon. So Trish brings in a box with her family in it, 3 boxes of ashes, and she's trying
Jessica's
to
family.
yeah, Jessica's family. And she's trying to get her to deal with this missing time in her life. But she's honest about it. Jessica's like, "You just doing this for ratings?" She's all, "Yes, I am. But it's also because I want to help people." And that's believable. So yeah, that's really messed up. And I'm surprised she didn't just show her the door right there, but she she did. So I don't know. I was kind of surprised about that, but and she ended up sitting on the couch and they talked. But we also Jerry Hogarth was in this episode too, right?
Yeah, she was. This is where she
yeah, this is messed up.
Yeah, she gets some kind of news. We don't know what the news is, but we just know that it's bad news. And also we get introduced to another character who's another PI who is basically trying to take away Jessica. He tries to buy out Jessica to bring her into his PI business. And when she says, "Get the hell out of here," he basically says, "Okay, then I'm just going to destroy you and take all your clients" thing. And that's when she kind of snaps a little bit and almost kills the guy.
And it's if you recognize the actor, he's from The Expanse.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Prax. So yeah, great actor, by the way. There's actually a lot of Canadian actors in this show. It looks like every time it's weird lately. Shows when they get a little not long in the tooth, but later seasons, their budgets get cut and then they have to like go to Canada. Now I know they shot a lot of this in New York, which is very expensive. One thing I did notice, not a lot of superpowers going on. Now, I know Jessica Jones doesn't do a lot of superpowers in the comic books, but this is television. Okay. So see, Jessica Jones is kind of flipping the script in comic books. That's why it kind of stood out as being this great story. But we've kind of done this in television a lot due to budget constrictions. So I hope they don't hold back on it. Like I'll tell you right now, there's not a ton in the first 4 episodes. It's very story heavy, but the story is good enough to keep you intrigued. There is a legit like mystery here. So I hope we get to see a lot of Jessica Jones like being a PI. That would be good.
Yeah. And we got a little bit of it in the first episode too. And yes, Johnny, it does sound a little spoilerish. I know, but we're not spoiling anything.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry. We'll stop right there. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, we could leave it with it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I would definitely check it out. I can recommend the first 4 episodes. I can't go beyond that. We're going to get into spoiler territory on Saturday. Check nerdrotic.com for the schedule because I honestly can't remember it right now. So, but
I believe, we have it Saturday.
Saturday evening, and then
Saturday evening. Yes,
we're doing it earlier Sunday or something because we got
I think Monday is what we set it for.
No, we set it for Sunday. It's going to be earlier Sunday because
that's right. Because Monday is Ash versus Evil Dead. Yes, that's right.
So let's get to some comments here before we dive in the news, Dennis.
Okay, so of course, Ghost World hasn't watched it. He says my sister watches it, and I hear good things.
Hey, you know what, Ghost World? I'd rather you watch us. To be honest with you, I'm okay with that. Not judging at all, dude.
I know he watches like 3 shows. That's fine.
Good. That's enough. That's enough.
That is plenty fine. Viking Bitch says, so I forgot that vodka gets pretty strong once it's sat for a few years. I'm accidentally drunk.
Whoops. The bottle just flew into the mouth. And yeah, okay. Whoopsie daisy. That's terrible. I'm sure the show is much more enjoyable at this point. Hey, we avoided the down vote, but now that I said it, it's going to bring our down voter in here.
Yeah, well. Jody says it sort of works without Tennant, but what about Luke Cage? Have they confirmed that they aren't bringing them together because they are married and have a child in the comics, right? They are married and have a child in the comics, and Squirrel Girl was their nanny for a little while as well. So,
yeah, we'll talk about that later. Yes, Luke Cage is an important part of the story, and she's still the most important part, but it's her relationship with him that's very interesting, because it's not this perfect relationship. It feels real. So that's what I love about it, and I love Luke Cage. So I hope they do it. I really do. But the scuttlebutt I heard is we're only going to get one more season of Jessica Jones, probably. If that's, I don't think they're going to go beyond that.
Yeah, Kristen Ritter actually just went on record the other day, or she tweeted out or something like that, saying that she's pretty sure that Defenders season 2 is not going to happen.
No, it's not. It absolutely is not.
Yeah, it tanked pretty much.
It did, and I know for a fact Marvel wants the Defenders name for a proper Defenders movie. There you go. There's your bit of news that you won't hear anywhere else. But yes, the Defenders. I don't know how they can do that. That they could probably just call it Defenders the movie. I wouldn't care. But if they brought together the Hulk and Namor and Doctor Strange and Silver Surfer, oh my god,
yeah,
I'd be so happy.
And Toro, they've already introduced Toro. It's in Iron Man or Captain America.
Toro, you mean the Human Torch?
The Human Torch, yeah.
Toro and Toro.
Yes.
I always wondered about how the rights are with that, because I think they showed them in the Captain America movie. They showed the original android Human Torch, which has connections to the Vision. In one of his, the main origin that I remember is the android is the Human Torch android. Vision, is connected.
Parts of it, parts of
it. There's a great cover with the Human Torch popping out of a grave. One of the Avengers. It's so good.
Did you want to go into news, or did you want?
Well, let me peruse the comments a little bit here.
All right,
I got to go all the way to the top though. So why don't you do a news article?
Okay.
While I go down.
So Vin Diesel has been cast as the movie that no one wanted, Bloodshot, for Sony.
I don't even know what to say about that. Sure. I mean, he'd be a good Bloodshot. I honestly never read that comic. It was not during my store time. And yeah, it was, the people who bought it didn't read it. They just bought it for speculation. And, if you read a Bloodshot comic, God bless. I mean, it's not terrible. I actually like Bloodshock more than Bloodshot, but which was a Crow ripoff by Jay Lee, but it was really good. Johnny Papa says X-Files Redemption. Are you speaking of last week's episode or last Wednesday's episode? Because that was good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I know he didn't like our review of Followers. So
Followers?
Yeah, that's what that whole
okay. That was is that what it's called? Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay not to like one of our reviews. I didn't like the show that much. So
hey, Girls World, Batman Beyond 2.0, I'm not a big fan of. I know you got the trade paperback for it. I was a huge fan of Batman Beyond, the comic, until they did they decided, because that was the one thing I liked about Batman Beyond. It wasn't touched by the DC craziness that was going on. And then, of course, they're like, oh, no, let's bring that in too. And then they just completely destroyed it. And wasn't too happy about that. But enjoy.
Get
Uh,
over it, Dennis. Christ, it's just a
I know.
comic. So Jody said, Gary, when I saw your post about the secret agent event, I thought at first, whoa, Gary's a secret agent. Then I realized it was the name of the venue. Yes, it's the name of my. No, I'm not a secret agent. I'm the worst person to fucking give secrets to. I
Yes.
really am. I would blab. Yeah, no way. I'd
Because when
sell
you have
out.
to pay them.
I'd sell out this country in a hot second. No, I'm just kidding. That is the name of my wife's salon. So that's the event we were at, and it was her birthday yesterday, and we had lots of fun. It was cool. Yeah, sorry about the spoilers, Johnny Papas. Yeah, we probably went a little too far on that, but we really didn't like give out anything.
Yeah, we didn't give anything.
That's all in the first episode. Beyond that, you know.
No, Viking bitch. We're not going to argue tonight. Ghost World and I are not going to argue. I was just telling him
there is no arguing with the chatters. That is no.
No.
It really sucks. Yeah, you know what? When Dennis doesn't like something, man, it's over. There is no coming back from that. He is a black and white dude. That is cool.
So Carl Urban had confirmed that Alex Garland, who wrote the script for Dredd, actually directed most of Dredd as well. It was probably one of the worst kept secrets out there. But Alex Garland had gone on to direct Ex Machina and recently Annihilation, that's out in theaters right now. So he's actually a decent director. And so it turns out that he actually directed the majority of Dredd out there.
Who was the director? Who was the name director on it?
The name director was Pierce, I believe his name is. He didn't really do anything memorable. I was looking at his IMDb page, and there's really
did he get fired from it halfway through or something.
No, I think what was going on was because it was you gotta remember, it was a small production company at the time that was doing it, and yeah, it was really weird.
That's weird that he would come out and say that and kind of screw over the other dude. That's not cool.
Well, it came out because he was talking during a convention, is what it was.
You still think I would shut the hell up about that? That's not cool, in my opinion. That's kind of scummy, to be honest with you. I don't think more of the guy for saying that. I don't care if you're directly asked. You just be classy, okay? Just go, no, he did a good job. And you know what? If you know you directed it, then and plus he's done fine things outside of Dredd. So that's typical Hollywood, though. But maybe the guy screwed him over or slept with his wife. I have no idea. Dredd's awesome, though. Dredd is
awesome.
Dredd is brilliant, and I don't think we'll ever see it again, which is sad. Well, unless they go, they're working on a series, but it's not going to be about Dredd. It's going to be about the other judges. That's the word on the street, which is fine. But
he just said, this is like 2 days ago. He was interviewed for this. He said he just talked to them, and the last thing he heard from them, they're still working on the script. It's supposed to be Dredd centric. He says as long as they do something really well written that gives Dredd a purpose, he'll come back and do Dredd.
Okay, so it's not happening. That's Hollywood speak for it's not happening. We're working on the script, and if it's good, we're back. No. It just didn't make enough money. They should go like Kickstarter, not Kickstarter, but you know what I mean. Get some, GoFundMe or something, whatever the hell you use for that. I think they would get that would be the best route to go.
Do a car wash.
Do a car wash. Yeah. Something, because the Hollywood studios aren't going to give it, or obviously they've shopped it to Amazon, Netflix. They say no, which I don't understand, because I know for one that the Blu-ray sales have been very strong for that.
Oh yeah, so definitely.
It's weird, and maybe we'll get it. I hope the hell so. I really do. But having him involved, Carl Urban will come back, and he will. God, he was so good. But let's appreciate that we got such a good movie that went under the radar, that got marketed horribly, and it's too bad. But sometimes it takes like 10 years for these things to roll around, and they do. Serenity got made, so
yep.
Indiegogo. There you go, Johnny Papas. Indiegogo. I'd pay. Look, I paid $400 to Veronica Mars. I got a DVD and a T-shirt and some stickers, and it wasn't very good. to be honest with you.
I was
I
gonna
love
say,
the show, but it wrapped up a lot of the loose ends from the show, which was cool, but the actual plot was kind of boring. It's too bad.
So Agents of Shield, the writers are working on the season finale right now, and they're writing it like it's the series finale. Gee, I wonder why that is.
That's a wise move.
Mhm.
Maybe Joss can write one or two if they wanted to get better.
No, he's busy on back. No, wait, he's not. He's on Batgirl anymore. What's he on now?
Nothing. Maybe only see Dredd in certain occasions. Oh, there goes Ghost World again. And Judge Death. Yeah, God damn, make Dredd. Will you please?
I know, really. That's all they need. They just need to do Judge Death. That's all they need to do.
If they do another one, it will do better. I guarantee it will do better. I haven't ran into anybody. I've run into a couple people who've seen it and said it's too gross for them, and that's fine. But it's, you know, and I know it's pretty much a remake of what was that called, the movie called Raid?
No, the Raid, the Redemption. They actually found out about the script, and they just got their movie out first. They actually started production after Dredd.
Realities, perception is reality. I mean, I've heard that story too, and Dredd was actually doing it before, but it really does look like, and that might be some of the rap, but it hasn't heard it. It hasn't heard it at all. I don't care. They can be the same goddamn movie. I don't care. They're both good. So,
yeah. Jody, yes, looks like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to get canceled. So what happened was last season, at the end of last season.
By the way, Jody asked, is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. going to be canceled? Because we need these because people can't read them.
No, they actually come up now.
Not on your phone.
Okay.
And when you're listening.
So Jody asks, are they going to cancel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Yes, it looks that way because Disney saved Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from being canceled by ABC. ABC wanted to cancel it after season 4. And Disney said, no, you're going to do a season 5. So they did a season 5. That's why we get this little shorter season this season.
There's a reason for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Disney's been meddling. They've been really good about giving autonomy to the companies they bought, but they let them kind of run themselves, and that's been changing. Iger, who was supposed to be stepping down, now wants to stick through and oversee all of these streaming services. Why? For his legacy, or I think Iger wants to be part of like Disney's probably greatest era ever, as far as just being successful and making money. And it's stupid how much money, like Black Panther's making so much money for them, and they had planned for maybe like 800,000 worldwide, and they would have been stoked with that. They're gonna double that easily. Infinity War might not make as much money as Black Panther. That's a real possibility.
What did they say? They said it just opened in China this weekend, and it did 22.7 million, which is huge in China. That's a huge opening weekend.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. That's great. Yeah, did you hear that they bought an award for Chadwick Boseman over there as he's the most popular American actor, and like they'd never seen anything he'd been in prior to that. I love Disney, man. They try, you know what I mean? Go for it. We know it's not genuine, but nothing is in Hollywood, so that's okay. If you're not out there, if you're not cheating, you ain't trying. Okay. Yeah. So they're gonna have a great year. I mean, there's still, there's some chinks in the armor, but right now they're riding high. And the next 2 movies look great. I mean, of course, Infinity War, but I'm excited for Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think it looks cool as hell. So, and I love Paul Rudd. And
yeah, me too.
I think it's going to be a fun movie. So they could seriously have like 2 like huge hits, not just like, it did pretty good. Like I think they'll have. I don't know if Ant-Man and Wasp will be $1 billion movie, but they're gonna have 2. They're gonna have $2 billion worldwide movies. That's good for the stockholders.
Hey, Ghost World. Ghost World says, "Be back soon, guys. I'll be in and out for the rest of the night." That reminds me of
GW.
Never mind.
Oh yeah. There was some
I know,
low
I know,
hanging fruit
I
right
know.
there.
I was waiting for you. I lobbed it for you, man.
I did
I
not.
had it up there.
There is ladies watching, so I will not make that kind of
All
joke.
right, good.
Maybe I will
Um,
later.
so Black Mirror has been confirmed for a season 5 on Netflix. Netflix confirmed this actually this week.
Great.
Yeah.
I still got to finish season 4. I watched the first two and the last one, and they were all pretty good. They're all pretty good. There's definitely a theme throughout the entire thing that I found a little annoying,
Darkness.
but that one we reviewed was good. I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty good. You know, it wasn't great, but the sets were great. The thing is shot so good, and it's very much a BBC show, which I like. I still have a fondness for the BBC, even though they've gotten weird and turdy. But
And in other Netflix news, and Gary's gonna give me crap for this one. Travelers has been confirmed for a season 3.
yeah, there you go. See, when Dennis hates something, he hates it, but when he loves something, like it's like Travelers needs to get a restraining order against Dennis. They really do, because like and I've never seen the show. It might be a fine show, but he continues to tell. It's like we don't cover it. We don't cover a show. Oh my goodness, can't get him to watch the stuff we do cover. Jody says Black Mirror is one of those shows that can keep going indefinitely since it is an anthology series, but I hope they can maintain the quality of the writing. I think they can. I really think they can. I don't know if y'all remember Tales from the Crypt. Okay, Tales from the Crypt was a great show.
Yeah, it was.
It was a great show, and it ran for 7 seasons. It was on, HBO, and like Richard Donner directed. Tom Hanks directed an episode. It had all these huge directors and
Joe
great
Dante.
writers. Joe Dante. I mean, like, go look at the Wikipedia on Tales from the Crypt. Those were awesome, and I it just left my mind in I don't know. I came across something accidentally, and I watched a couple of them. That's something I'd like to cover on our VHS vault or DVD vault, is Tales from the Crypt. Such a
there is a movie.
shows.
There is a
Dennis is humping Traveler's leg. Yes,
I'm actually kind of rubbing up and
Travelers,
down against
and Travelers was wearing shorts.
Yes. Viking Bitch asks, have you all watched The Toast of London on Netflix? I love Matt Berry. No, I have not.
No, is that something? I'm going to write that down. Toast of London. You know what I came across while I was going for Jessica Jones? I almost just blew off Jessica Jones. And it might be bad, but Sean Bean's The Frankenstein Chronicles. Is that what have you seen?
Yeah. I saw that. That wasn't that the old one that he did.
Is it old? I don't know. I mean, I never freaking seen it. I was like, some stuff just gets by me. I'm like, oh, Sean Bean, I want to check it out.
I can't remember, because I know he's been tons of stuff.
I know it might be a couple years old. Help me out here in the chat. I don't know if it's new or if it's old or whatever, but I'm like, whew, man, what? I need to see that, so maybe it sucked. Who knows? Jody says, Gary, Tales from the Crypt and the animated version Tales of the Crypt Keeper, as well as Tales from the Dark Side and the Twilight Zone, were some of my favorite anthology series. Yes, I love a good anthology series. And Tales from the Crypt is pretty much the best since the Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone in the 80s doesn't get enough love. It was really good.
Even the Outer Limits remake in the 90s was not bad.
No, they were really good.
Yeah.
They were darker in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But the Twilight Zone in the 80s, yeah, I mean, I don't think people were just ready for Chronicle. I don't know. It's so weird how backwards they went in TV writing. When movies got more popular than television definitely went backwards. But in the 60s, television was pretty badass. I mean, there was good, there was freaking Twilight Zone. Then movies got more popular. TV kind of went, formulaic and bad. And it's reversed itself, thankfully. I don't know, fan of serialized storytelling. But it's good to see that there's multiple anthologies out there now. There's Black Mirror, of course, and then there's Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams. I've seen a couple of those. Those are pretty good. They're actually pretty good.
M. Night Shyamalan supposedly is still working on his anthology series as well. Don't know where it's going to come out at, but he's working on it. And yes, Pickle says, can't forget Night Gallery. Of course not.
Of course not. Basically, Twilight Zone darker 2.0. A lot more devil stuff. You know, it was so popular in the 70s. The whole Satan worshiping thing. That was weird.
Ghost World says, you guys remember the Twilight Zone remake from like 2003? Oh my God, my sides.
Wasn't that what's his name was? Oh my God, I'm forget. He was in Black Panther. My God, he was in Rogue One too.
I don't know.
I'm forgetting his name now. He was hosting it. You don't remember that, Dennis? That was right when I opened the store.
I might have seen it. No, you know what? I don't remember it. Tell you the truth, I don't remember it at all. I don't know why. That's kind of a weird one.
Yeah, it was 2000. I think it only lasted a season or two. But Forrest Whitaker, thank you. Yes, Forrest Whitaker. God damn.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's the one that. Yeah, I know a lot of people panned that one. I think that's. I just didn't have time for it, and I
didn't watch it at all. I was like right when I was opening the comic store. I had no time for television. There was a Night Gallery episode that had a guy who wished for a mermaid to have legs. She ended up with legs and a fish head. It totally creeped me out. It's terrible. I don't remember seeing that one. I haven't seen them all, to be honest with you. They were, you got to go out and find them. Yeah, it was Whitaker. Definitely Whitaker. Yeah. Dude, now I got to put more notes.
So remember that Amazon adaptation of The Boys that they're working on?
Yeah, I remember.
They've cast 2 new people. They've cast Laz Alonso as Mother's Milk and Jack Quaid as Wee Huey.
So they didn't get Simon Pegg.
Nah, he thinks he's a little too old. So
he is
younger.
Yeah, and he kind of blew him off on the movie side too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jack Quaid, by the way, is Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan's son.
That's cool, and he's not screwed up. That's great. It's nice to hear a Hollywood kid who's not screwed up. But
yeah, and you got to remember. So Eric Kripke is writing. Eric Kripke is Supernatural, the creator of that show. He's writing the script for this, and Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg are producing and directing the first episode.
That's great because they did a great job on Preacher when they directed. Those 2 guys. They're good. They're really good at TV.
Yeah.
Pickle says the Hand of Borgus Weems was my favorite Night Gallery episode. It had the hand tries to kill him, a la Evil Dead 2. Yes.
Dead by Dawn.
Oh my God, I remember that. Dead by Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
I just completely left my head. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That was kind of the title, a working title of the movie.
That was the tagline, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Ghost World says, come on, it's Meg Ryan. She can do no wrong. She's like the female half of Tom Hanks.
She is the female half of Tom Hanks. They're actually one person that was split up.
Mm-hmm.
It was post his appearance in Dragnet. Which I can't stop thinking about since we mentioned it on the podcast. I'm like, I got to watch that movie now.
So Gotham, which I know you're not watching. I'm watching it. I'm 2 episodes behind though right now. For the end of season 4, which is the current season, the season finale is going to be the No Man's Land storyline. Because they decided the show isn't batshit crazy enough as it is. They decided to go with the No Man's.
Why don't they just go with Nightfall next? Before he becomes Batman, he stops being Batman.
They could do the Long Halloween as well.
What did I say about this show? About 2 seasons in, you're just going to want fucking Batman. I mean, all it is a tease, It's like Smallville was able to pull it off because they kept on throwing in other superheroes to distract you from the fact that you're not seeing the main superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what's going on now. So. Yeah, they'll probably bring in Terry McGinnis at some point.
I hope not. I really hope not.
So the rights are all weird on this. Apparently, this was a big thing a couple of days ago. If Disney buys Fox, then Fox will be Disney will be producing a Batman series. Now they can't do anything with it other than within the framework of the show. They can't actually bring in Batman at all. But they can keep producing that show forever if they want and tie Batman rights up for the CW. Because as long as Gotham's on, you can't put Batman anywhere. And that's
for
what
the WB, right? They'll tie it for the WB.
Well, the CW. No, the
CW.
CW. The
Okay.
CW shows where you can't put Batman anywhere on TV as long as Gotham's on the air. They have an exclusivity right. So Disney could just keep renewing Gotham forever, and then they could never put a Batman on a streaming service or anything that's considered, because streaming services are still considered television.
TV, yeah.
Yeah, it is getting nuts. So fortunately, Disney has a threshold, and Fox has a threshold of like, if it gets below like probably, you know, a couple million viewers, that's not very good for prime time. So it'll probably get canceled. But they could do that. They could it's weird. And with the WB being for sale now and the DC Heroes being for sale, I still think if I was Disney, I'd maybe like not buy Sony and maybe think about not even buying Fox and try to get the WB. I would, that's way better. There's way better properties at WB than there is at Fox, but they probably wouldn't let that happen.
No, that would be kind of weird.
I don't know. Them buying Fox is weird. You know,
all this stuff is weird, man. It's
Disney buying Star Wars was weird.
Yeah,
15 years ago, if you'd have said Disney's going to buy Star Wars, you'd be like, you are effing crazy. And they bought Marvel. That one came out of freaking nowhere. Like nobody was talking about that prior to it happening. That was a well-kept secret. So,
well, speaking of Star Wars, Jon Favreau is going to write and executive produce a live-action Star Wars series for Disney's streaming service.
That's actually good news.
It is.
I think that's very good news.
Awesome.
But is Disney going to trap it in prequel land, or like, if Jon Favreau is going to like take it in an absolutely new direction? Sure, that sounds rad. I'd watch it. I like Jon Favreau a lot. I think he did a great job. One of the few people in the world who likes Iron Man 2, warts and all. And I think he's good. I think he'd be great for it.
I like Iron Man 2 as well. I mean, you got to remember that's the first time they brought in Black Widow as well. Was in Iron Man 2, and there's parts of it that don't work. Yes, definitely, but a good majority of it does. I thought it was good.
No, I think he's got a really good sense of fun. So that's what Star Wars is totally missing. It is so just stale and stagnant, and just got, generic people playing parts. They really need to like bring back the moxie. That's what Han Solo made Star Wars. Period. What were the prequels missing? A Han Solo. We've said this a million times. You need a Han Solo in a Star Wars movie. You need whatever that character is. It doesn't have to be an older guy. It could, but that type of character, snarky, but good-hearted, rebellious, kind of a-hole, but the lovable a-hole, something like that. Every show needs that, in my opinion, but they definitely need something like that. So
so Jody says Gotham was a missed opportunity. Oops, and I just lost it as I was there. Just scrolled up. There we
Johnny
go.
Papa said, what'd you say? Go on.
Jody says Gotham was a missed opportunity. They could have worked the whole show around the premise why Gotham needs Batman. Show the corruption of the city, maybe focus on the infighting of the crime families. Yeah, they could have gone that route, but they decided to go batshit crazy.
Yeah, and I think because they're on network and they're hemmed in, I see what you're asking for, Jody, and I totally agree. If they would have gone with like a darker crime route, that would have been better for like cable. But since they're on Fox and like you can't get too serious on that stuff, which is weird. You can talk about like all the sex and violence as possible, but you can't have serious story structure for some reason because, well, they think we're too stupid. And I mean, really, who can argue with them? But that kind of show, I don't think that would go on the networks. So they did what they did. It's fun. It's not good. It's not good, but it's enjoyable to watch. The guy who plays the Penguin is great.
Oh,
There's a lot of great villains, really well done stuff. I really would love to see a Batman on that someday. It would be if they did that, they can get another 10 years out of the show, and just because they've completely set it in the Burton universe, pretty much. So it's like the animated universe and the Burton universe, and the animated universe is kind of ripped a little bit from the Burton universe, or the first Batman movie anyway, which was more noir. It was basically the Burton and Max Fleischer mashed together in this genius cartoon. So I don't know. Yeah, it is a missed opportunity. It'll probably be around for like a couple more seasons. It gets good enough ratings, but enough people like it. I don't know how many comic book fans like it. It's weird. It's like the CW shows. The comic book fans, but I don't hate it. I'm a comic book fan, so
I don't hate it either. I actually watch it because honestly, I find it funny. It just, I don't take it seriously, so it doesn't bother me. What were you going to read about Johnny there?
I lost it, but I'm gonna find it again, Johnny. I'm gonna find you, Johnny.
Talks about Star Wars, or I have it here if you want me to read it.
I want to see how far I was. Yeah, go for it.
Johnny says they've been talking about live action Star Wars for the last 15 years. They have tons of scripts they wrote. Yeah, Lucas did, what was it, like 500 scripts?
No, it's not 500. They had 50 completed scripts. 50. They wanted the show to go for 5 years. They wanted it to be 10 episodes per season, something like that. So they have 50 completed scripts, and they are written by Ronald D. Moore. So yeah, I want to see that show. And of course, they do that. That stuff is done all the time. Pretty much most of the movies you see, and most of the television you see, and most of the television scripts you see are repurposed scripts. Well, so much stuff is recycled, so much, and they just add different names, unused stuff they've used 100 times. That is totally normal. So yeah, they've got it. It would be the easiest thing to start. I honestly don't know what is taking them so long. I guess they're just waiting for the streaming service.
They're waiting for the streaming service. Yeah, it's once the streaming service comes online and they figure out what they're going to do with it. That's when everything goes bing, green light.
Tell you what, this streaming service better kick ass, because they are betting everything on it, and that's very un-Disney of them to put all their eggs in one basket. But if this thing fails, Disney stock's gonna tank. Trust me. If ESPN can almost topple it down during Star Wars in the MCU run, can you imagine what the streaming service would do? Wow. I don't want that to happen, because then bad things would happen. You're right. Just Johnny Papa says, unfortunately, those scripts are no longer canon, but Disney can make them canon again.
Yeah, they can just wave their magic wand and everything's canon again.
Unfortunately, a lot of stuff is not canon anymore. So,
yep, the whole extended universe, expanded universe, expanded universe. There we go. So now comes the time in our show where we talk about death.
And yes, Jody, that I kind of thought everybody knew that. Yeah, that I was really shocked to hear that from my aesthetics teacher in film school, who had worked on Matlock, and he said that like a lot of the Matlock scripts were Ironside scripts. And what was the Murder, She Wrote used a lot of Ironside, and they just freaking recycle shit out, and it's all written by the same guys. So it was like back in the 70s and 80s, there was like 4 guys writing everything. Stephen J. Cannell, it was pretty crazy. So Darcy, we'll make it canon. Yes, in Darcy Divas. So let's do the downer part.
We'll do the downer part. Yes, the death. So we were talking during the X-Files there about I want my $2 from the Followers episode, and it just so happens this one I'm tying this in with David Ogden Stiers, who played the father in Better Off Dead. He was also in MASH as Major Winchester, passed away at age 85 from bladder cancer.
That's very sad.
Yeah, a good actor and a nice guy. So, very funny actor too, very funny comedian. Also, Paul DeMeo, who wrote The Rocketeer, the movie The Rocketeer. He wrote the script for that. He was also involved in the 90s version of The Flash, the TV show.
Yep.
And The Human Target, among other DC stuff. And he passed away unexpectedly at the age of 64. No cause of death there, but he passed away as well.
I think that was the TV show I was trying to think of last week. Because Human Target, not
Human Target
here. Yeah.
There's been a few of those. I mean, there was like 3 different iterations of that on Fox. They tried kickstarting it multiple times.
Yep.
And they even mentioned again on CW, as a matter of fact. They brought the Human Target back again for the CW.
We could talk about another death. I mean, they haven't come out and admitted it, but it's dead. Is Toys R Us?
Ah, yes. Good segue.
We need to talk about Toys R Us because it is important to us nerds who like toys.
Mm-hmm.
I would not have bought a comic shop if it wasn't for Toys R Us. My little quick Toys R Us story. I used to deliver auto parts, was one of my jobs many years ago in my early 20s. I used to deliver auto parts.
That was a long time ago.
Pretty cake job. I dropped off parts at a shop and had a lot of free time in between. I just had to be back at a certain time. So if I kicked ass on my route, I had tons of free time that I was getting paid for. So I took advantage of that time and I hit every Toys R Us it was Tuesday was shipment day, but I hit them in between in KBs and I started building this little toy collection. And it started out with like, ooh, I like Spider-Man toys. I'm just going to collect Spider-Man toys. Then it was like, ooh, I like all those X-Men toys. I'm going to get all those. Oh, Batman animated series. Then it got ridiculous. And then Star Wars toys came out. It got freaking mad. But between shops, I would hit a Toys R Us and it made that job rad. It was like the best job in the world. I got to listen to the radio all day. I think I actually worked maybe an hour a day, just handing people stuff and getting a signature and taking off. Pay wasn't great, but I was good at it. And it actually led to a lot of other things, but it got my toy collection going. I freaking love Toys R Us. I remember being there Tuesday morning and fighting with the Hot Wheels guys, like at the door. And we run in. It was so ridiculous. Oh, and McFarlane toys came out too. And the 90s were so fun for comic collecting and toy collecting. And, Toys R Us has been a part of my life forever. And it's been a part, like to see it go totally sucks. They, I don't know why they haven't, it's just having a big retail store is too much. You need to go small now. I mean, these big box stores are going to die. You got to pay this insane rent. You have to have an insane amount of product. And now, the door is open for mom and pop toy stores to come back, and you're going to see that. And this is actually kind of a good thing. So as sorry as I am to see Toys R Us go, honestly, I only shopped in 2 sections ever. There's, thousands of square feet I never, ever went to. I went right for that action figure aisle. And I know there's a bunch of other stuff there, but that's pretty much, I think, what kept them afloat. Video games for a little while, but I don't know. Like, it's sad. It's really sad to see. But if we get mom and pop toy stores out of it, and that might be a good thing. I don't know, but I'm really sad to see him go. And yes, I'm going to go there. I've got one right by my work, which is so dangerous. But yeah,
I've got one of the ones that's closing on my way home.
Once well, they're all going to close. They're all going to. This is just like when I worked at the warehouse, and we, for 3 years they were in Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and we were going to close. But when you start seeing the stores in America close, like the end is near. So hit your Toys R Us, but wait for those 70% off, and you're going to start like getting, like the big Millennium Falcons for like 75% off. And also, what helped them to their end? I hate to keep harping on this. Star Wars. Well, of course, Amazon and the obvious, but Star Wars toys. We're keeping them afloat for a long time, and the bottom has fallen out of Star Wars toys. They don't sell anymore. Nobody buys them anymore. And the merchandise sales for Star Wars That's where they make their money. Okay, it's not the movies. They outside the merchandise does 3 times better than the movies does on a yearly basis, and that's just in America. That's not counting, Europe and China. I don't know how the toys sell in China.
Ghost World says, well, this is what I was debating you guys earlier about. You can't listen to those idiots at world-class bullshitters about Star Wars sales tanking. It's not true. It's all retail. Because he said this before you started mentioning Star Wars. That's why I started laughing.
Those idiots at World Class Bullshitters have a point. They actually made a pretty good video, and they show you. And I walk into my Star Wars, it's filled with Toys R Us. It's filled with Star Wars toys, and as long as the merchandising, well, Star Wars is still making tons of money. Okay, I'm not saying that but they're making less. So we're starting to see a law of diminishing returns. So when Star Wars gets hurt, it'll be 2 years from now.
We're going to see a lot sooner than that because just after I posted that, I think a little while afterwards, which I didn't get a chance to, I saw it on my phone. Mattel and Hasbro, the 2 biggest toy producers, have said that this is actually going to hurt them a lot because remember, Toys R Us is $4 billion in the hole right now. $4 billion in the hole. And most of that stuff they owe is to Mattel and Hasbro.
And Mattel is a ruthless toy company. These used to be fun little toy companies that were owned by a guy or a girl. I can't, and again, watch the Netflix documentary on it. It's really cool. It's too corporate. Actually, our buddy Perlman, he owns Marvel, but he also runs the toys for Disney. That's one of his babies, and he's usually pretty good at it. He's like one of those, he's like one of those cartoon evil guys who shouldn't own a toy, company, but he does. But he ran Toy Biz, and that was like the best toy company ever, in my opinion. And so maybe he's secretly good at it. But the bottom is falling out. They've gotten too generic, and the quality of the toys is just garbage now. It's so bad. The paint jobs are bad, and people could just tell. You could feel it in the weight of the toy. There is an art to this, okay, that has to be appreciated. Even the old 6 points of articulation stuff that's all behind me on the wall, they all were painted so well. The molds are kind of weird looking. Everybody has giant chests and stuff, and their legs are too small. But the paint, it's I don't know. There's something charming about them. There's something really. What comes out now is so just. It's not bad, but it's just it's bland. It's just really bland.
Jody says, Gary and Dennis, what about the rise of 3D printers? Won't that affect toy companies and their bottom line? Well, I'm going to tell you a little something about 3D printers, and it's going to be coming down the pike fairly soon because we're talking about it in the safety industry right now. All those chemicals that you're using for the 3D printers, they're toxic, boys and girls. So all that stuff that you're inhaling, wait till the regulations come out on that, which I'm giving it about 2 or 3 years because the 3D printer industry isn't huge yet, really, really huge. It's big, but it's not huge. And when that happens, you're going to see a lot of regulations that are going to hurt 3D printing. And I don't think that's going to affect toy companies or their bottom line with the 3D printers, to tell you the truth. But the regulations are going to hurt the 3D printers. See how that ties in.
For personal use, you have to break out the MSDS. Also, the government's going to wait until they can, and the government is run by lawyers. So they're waiting till they can start suing people so they can put regulations to start suing companies. And because that's how the government makes money. So, I don't know if it's actually, I don't know if they're dangerous or not, but I know that the lawyers, it's not worth their time right now. But I agree with you. As soon as there's money to be made, the government will want their pound of flesh.
We're already doing regulation where I work right now because 3D printers are starting to crop up everywhere. And we're having to enclose them because we did some sampling, and that shit's really toxic. That's all I'm going to say. And this is just simple ABS plastic. The amount of
if you enclose it, I'm sure. If you're over it, the freaking whatever it is breathing that crap, hell yeah, it's toxic. It's plastic in the air.
But these are all open systems. That's the whole thing. And
just figure out a way to enclose it.
Well, you have to have a way of ventilating it too. So that's
well, it's your fucking dryer is dangerous too. It's got a vent, but that vent can back up I don't know. I think if the industry does get big enough, they can also pay enough the right government people to Carrie. I'm so cynical. I am fucking real. Okay, I'm keeping it real.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be the cynical one.
I was small. No, yeah, you are the cynical one, but I was also a small business owner for 10 years, and I see how the government works. Okay, so yeah, they want their pound of goddamn flesh. I'm sure there's a truth to both sides. I'm sure that if you drink the plastic, it will kill you. Yes. And so, if you walk outside in San Francisco, you're breathing so much crap anyway. So,
Quite literally.
yeah, California is a fucking nanny state. I agree with you there, buddy. Johnny Pappas. Sorry, go on.
So on to a different story. Have you seen the photos of Zachary Levi as Shazam?
Shazam!
Shazam!
I have. Jinx.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Coca-Cola?
Maybe.
I don't do that other stuff anymore. I suppose I can get some for you.
That's okay.
Just ask one of the hairdressers. I'm sure they have it. So yeah, I saw him, and I guess people freaked out a little bit. I watched. Oh man, I swore I'd never watch her again, but I keep going back because she annoys me, and I want to yell at her. Is that Grace lady from? I was about to say something bad. Sorry. Apologies to Viking bitch, but that Grace bitch on Beyond the Trailer was like ripping it, and I was looking at it. I'm like, okay, yeah, the colors are kind of bright. It looks a little cartoony, and oh yeah, it's a comic book movie, and it's supposed to be like Shazam is basically a kid story, like a real kid story. They could do adult themes in it, but they're going to make it like big. Also, there's a thing called a color palette, right? And when you film something, they crush the blacks quite a bit in a lot of these movies, especially DC. If they want to keep in line with their theme, they do crush that black, and they bring it down. Comic Book Cast 2 did a very good job of adjusting the color a little bit on the costume, and it looks fine. To me, I think it looks just like the comic book costume. It looks a little dainty on in those pictures, especially with the little lightning bolts on the boots. But I don't know. I thought he looked pretty good, to be honest with you. I thought he looked like Shazam.
Yeah, it looks
like
like
from a Shazam, from a Captain Marvel Shazam comic.
Exactly. Jody says, Dennis, what if you have a gas mask or something while using the 3D printer? Yes, you can use a gas mask or respirator, is what we call that in the biz, as long as you have the proper filters for it.
Yep. No, you'll probably have to get some sort of license, to own one. Pound of flesh.
Exactly.
When all you need is probably just not even a respirator, just the thing covering your face. I don't know. Yeah, guess I'm a little cynical, but I also got, taxed to fucking death. Okay. Jesus Christ. You pay a $40,000 tax bill, and you're talking about fucking pounds of flesh.
How long ago was that?
A few years ago.
Okay.
You get audited. Talk to me about cynicism after you get audited. Okay. I mean, seriously, I'd rather have a tank drive up my ass than get audited. Yeah. That's and an idle for a little while. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize.
Speaking of idling, Patty Jenkins has confirmed that Kristen Wiig has been cast as Cheetah in Wonder Woman 2.
I still think that don't go crazy on this one. This might be a good move. Kristen Wiig is kind of funny. Okay, she's kind of funny. But comedians actually do turn out to be kind of the best actors. I mean, who thought Robin Williams, when you're watching Mork, you guys are way too young, would be like this thespian that, pretty much one of America's greatest actors ever. Tortured human being. I feel really bad for her. God, I met the guy too. So nice. So full of energy. He's like on all the time. It was really cool. Yeah, I think it could be a good move. I mean, honestly, I know people are like going nuts over this, but I love the fact that people are going nuts over a Wonder Woman movie. That's good. That's enough excitement about it. And I think that's cool. But let's wait and see it. This could be this movie could turn out to be a hot mess too. It's just I think the first one did well because there wasn't a lot of meddling from the GD Warner Brothers producers, who are the worst meddlers.
Yeah, they kind of ruin things. Ghost World, Ghost World says, is anyone not excited about Cheetah as the main villainess? Yeah, I'm
excited. I think that's a good villain. I want to. That's her number one villain in my eyes. So that's
Because Ares was not the greatest villain. Let's just say
no CG old English guy. Come on. And they did it again in Justice League. It's like, let's get another old English actor who's like 90, but we're gonna CG him as this god. And
just stand there in one spot. We're gonna have some light fire up into the sky.
When the guy was doing interviews afterwards, he was like, I barely knew what I was in. I didn't understand my script. I just read my words and went home. But he also said that about Game of Thrones, fucker. I miss Robin Williams so much. Sorry.
Jody says, Johnny, and that dude he was fighting in the photo, is that Savania? Yes, it is. It is Dr. Savania, played by the great Mark Strong, who was trying to redeem the Green Lantern movie. He was the best thing out of that Green Lantern movie.
I want him to come back as Sinestro. He was freaking great.
Yeah.
You know what? The first 5 minutes of that Green Lantern movie were awesome. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be great. And then it just
you know what it was? It was a screaming skull in space. That's where everything went downhill. And it was just like, oh man.
I'll tell you what, though. My son, Logan, doesn't get scared for crap. I mean, he used to play Five Nights at Freddy and all that stuff. That stupid cloud thing, that scared the crap out of him. He was like, I'm out of here. He couldn't even look at it. I don't know what about it. But wait, there's a Dr. Savania. I don't know if you can see him. He's right between Batman's legs right there.
That's kind of a weird position for him.
Batman's giving birth to him. It was just the one place he would stand. Okay. Actually, I'm going to change it all. I got my stands in. You're a toy collector when you get really excited when your action figure stands come in. You're all, yee, my package came. No apology. You still haven't watched Wonder Woman Viking, bitch? Oh my God, your woman card is taken.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, just kidding.
Jody says Cheetah's the Lex Luthor to Wonder Woman Superman, isn't she? Yes, she is.
Ghost World. Everybody hates furries.
Except for the furries.
Dude, they've started getting like acceptance. That's when we are near the time of the apocalypse. I mean, live and let live. That's fine. But I don't know if like we should, like they should be part of like a regular part. Part of the fun of being a furry, you think, would be kind of being a weirdo outcast. That's the reason you become a furry. If you start being accepted and I have to like hire a furry or a person who dresses, I can definitely see that coming within the next couple of years in San Francisco. There's going to be some guy who dresses like a Fury, wants to go to work at Twitter every day as a furry. I say Fury, same thing.
They'll allow it. It's Twitter.
The thing is, you can't make fun of them anymore. You're considered like some sort of, anti-furry.
Why do you hate furries so much, man?
They're weird. Now, why do I hate them? We're the most annoying people at Comic-Cons.
No, that's true. They are.
They go into the damn bathrooms with their damn fur on, and it's
Ghost World says at Viking bitch, don't worry, I lost my black card for not seeing Black Panther.
You did? Did you lose it? Like lost it? Like I can't find it? Or
I thought you were supposed to loan that to me for use at some point in time. What the hell, man? Jody says, the main problem with GL movie was that they couldn't decide where to set the story. Either make it cosmic or space or make it Earth, but make up your mind, right? Yeah.
Right.
It was like, okay, we're on Earth. No, we're back out in space. No, we're going back to Earth. No, we're out in space.
Earth, space.
Earth,
space, Earth. Hey, Ghost World should have hired a furry as a mascot for your shop. Guess what? When I reopen my shop, you are hired as my furry mascot. Okay. I want you to be a mink. I want you to be a little mink. No. Sloth.
Sloth.
Sloth. I think sloths are cute with their big weird arms and their slowness. I avoided the furries at San Diego Comic-Con. Gary, you must be a frequent there to hang out spots.
They're attracted to him.
Yeah, I did. No. Yeah, the bathrooms. That's their hangout spots.
It is.
Remember the LARPer? Do they still do the LARPing thing at the back of Comic-Con?
Yeah, the medieval LARPing.
Money. We used to throw down money and bet on those dudes. That was funny.
Girls World says, Dennis, if you know me in real life, you know I'd be the worst black guy to get a black card from. Oh man.
A Lynx is Forrest Campbell. Yes, there you go. I want Ghost World to be a Lynx. It's going to change like 6 times for the end of the show, but you're hired, buddy. Yeah.
So another rumored, the rumor that this came from is because of a casting call that came about, is that Jessica Drew is more than likely going to be appearing in the Spider-Man Homecoming sequel.
That's interesting. That'll be I love Jessica Drew. I like Spider-Woman. She had a cartoon. She actually had a cartoon back in the day.
She did.
She is kind of a co-creation of Carmine Infantino. Carmine Infantino, if you don't know who he is the Stan Lee of DC. He redesigned Flash's costume. He redesigned Green Lantern's costume. He redid the Justice League. He inspired Stan Lee to make a little thing called the Fantastic Four. He was huge in the industry and also one of the first guys to go, hey, you need to pay me. And of course, it crushed him. He was the editor-in-chief of DC when Stan Lee was the editor-in-chief at Marvel in the 70s. When the Superman versus Spider-Man Treasury Edition came out, there was a special 100. There's 100 of them that got signed. That were supposed to get signed by both of them. I own it. And there's a little letter of apology because he got fired right before that. And he got crushed in the industry and he had to go back to and work for Stan Lee. One of the greatest artists ever. I mean, George Perez is a lot like him, but the way he drew it was fluid and detailed, like Michael Golden. Like old Michael Golden art was some of the most fluid, best freaking comic art ever. Very Brian Froud like, just really good with anatomy. Great story with him. I was at Comic-Con with Carmine Infantino, and he was the last couple of years of his life, so he had an oxygen tank, and I got a picture. I'll share it on Facebook. And he's got the little tubes up to his, and I asked him to draw me a Spider-Woman, and he couldn't remember what she looked like. And that sucked. It really sucked. So of course, at the time I didn't have like a phone. So I had to run and buy a comic of Spider-Woman, come back, showed him, and he drew me a sketch, and it was god awful. It was terrible, but I was so happy to have it. And I talked to the guy while he was drawing him, and Stan Lee walks by. He looks up, he goes, that guy thinks he's motherfucking God now. And starts drawing Spider-Woman again. I was just like, oh, this is rad. First I've heard Stan Lee cuss, and then I've heard another, like the DC Stan Lee. I mean, like, he looked terrible. He looked like he wasn't being taken care of. It was awful. It was terrible. I gave him $100 for a $50 sketch because I felt so bad. Actually, I did something very similar with Len Wein this last year at Comic-Con because he passed away. Remember I kept on texting you at Comic-Con. Len Wein's here. You got to come down. I went back and saw him a couple times. Yeah, and I just gave the second time I went by, I just gave his son some money. I'm like, I know they were there. I know he got completely screwed by Fox, and he was super cool. But I don't know what's going with that. Oh yeah, Spider-Woman. Sony's not going to have this shit for very long, so they need to play with it as much as they can. Because as soon as Venom comes out, the party's over. Because that movie's going to be a turd. Everything I hear about that movie is just turd. So the rumor is that Venom's going to be in it for like 15 minutes.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know Venom was going to be in this one.
In Venom?
Venom? Oh, no. I thought you were talking about Spider-Man.
No, Spider-Man Homecoming is going to, what's she going to be in it for 2 seconds?
No, she's supposed to be like like one of the love interests.
What?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing also as a rumor. So who knows?
I was hearing such good things about Spider-Man because they're going to go, but they're going to do because Cap's going to be in this one, so they're going to do some kind of World War II thing.
Oh, I don't know.
No, they are. They're
Really?
filming in France. Yeah, they're going to do like a World War II flashback, and it's going to be. They're going to do that story. You remember the animated series when they went back to World War II?
Yeah, I
and stuff
remember.
like that. Yeah,
Wolverine and all that. Yeah,
yeah,
they're
going to do. They're going to do that. They can't do Wolverine, but they're going to throw Cap in it. I think that is cool as hell.
Hopefully, hopefully they have him jump out of an airplane like he did. In the cartoon, it was kind of cool without the parachute.
But they've already done that.
Well, true, they have.
Yeah. So yeah, Jessica Drew being a love interest is really bizarre.
I don't know if that's going to be that'll make the final cut or not.
Who reported on that? Where did you hear that from?
That was from that hashtag show.
Okay, I'll look into. I'll ask my little source about that one. That's weird. That's weird. They are trying to. Okay, so Silver and Black is not happening now.
Yeah, it's been put on the back burner.
They put it on the back burner because,
it's
like
not important.
I said, and how it wraps around to Jessica Drew is everything is hinging on Venom, because they're basically forcing Disney into accepting their Spider-Man cinematic universe, and this is all Amy Pascal, by the way, and so they're doing what Fox is doing. Fox is going to produce like 6 or 7 movies in the next 2 years just to keep the rights going, just in case stuff falls through. And they're also thinking they can save themselves.
Dr. Doom, Silver Surfer, that kind of stuff.
So Sony was actually doing it first with the Silver and Black and like producing a Venom movie in 6 months, which is basically like what it takes to film 2 episodes of Game of Thrones. So they're doing this to keep the rights, to retain the rights, and that's why they're throwing Jessica Drew in. And now I think Marvel can fight them on this one because she is, I mean, other than Spider-Man, she's got very little to do with the Spider-Man character. She's more of an Avenger than anything else.
Yeah, Agents of Shield, Hydra agent as well.
Yep.
Depends on which version you go through. And do.
Well, yeah, they could do that other Spider-Woman. Yeah, the redhead, but I'm forgetting her name right now. But
Jody says, Gary and Dennis, have they confirmed that Jessica Drew will be Peter's love interest? That would suck. I'd much rather see her just team up with Spidey like Batman and Batgirl. So far, all I've heard is that it's rumor. It can change. There was a casting call for a female and for the Jessica Drew character, but the rumor is that she will probably be the love interest. And so that's the rumor part, but the casting call part is not the rumor. So there you have it. So that's probably going to change. You know how all these things change like about 15,000 times before they actually make it to film.
Yeah, I was never on board for the silly Silver and Black movie. I mean, other than comic book folks, who in the general audience would know who those two characters are, right?
Jody.
Yeah. Jessica
Carpenter. Yeah, was the redhead. Yes. I couldn't remember who it was either.
I couldn't either. I was blanking right there. So no, nobody know. I mean, I love Black Cat. I love Black Cat, but like she belongs in Spider-Man with Spider-Man movie, Felicia Hardy. If you want to do a love interest, do freaking Felicia Hardy. I mean, wait. Well, let's stop. Let's start restarting. Thanks for the correction there. Let's stop restarting Spider-Man. Okay, please. Let's not put him back to high school. I don't want Ultimate Spider-Man. I like old Peter Parker.
Old man Parker.
My good friends at World Class Bullshitters pointed out something that I used to point out all the time in my comic store is he was not a teenager very long in the original comic book run.
No, he wasn't.
It was a minuscule amount of time. He has always been a young adult because that's why he's called Spider-Man. And he's had relationships. I hate the fact that he's not with Mary Jane. I think that sucks. I think they, that's just the problem is the people who are writing Spider-Man. The reason they didn't like writing Spider-Man in a relationship is because I don't think any of the guys had really ever been in a long one in their lives. So I don't know. A good writer can write anything, but I don't think they had a lot of experience to draw on. So that's why they thought it was lame. That's just my crackpot theory on that. But yeah, like I can talk about my little comic book news here. You can go get a glass of water or something.
Okay.
Heather Antos announced that she was leaving Marvel today, and some of you out there might be going, "Who is Heather Antos, and why do we care about her?" For one, is not a name we should ever have known. Okay, she's an assistant editor at Marvel. She edited some pretty big selling books, including Star Wars, which was doing very well for a long amount of time. Actually, it's probably the best-selling comic in the last 10 years was the first Star Wars comic book, and it was very good too. And the Darth Vader comics are very good too. I don't think she's editing that. But she had become through her own actions, the face of what is going on now called Comicsgate. Some of you may have heard it. I have talked with some of my friends on other channels about that stuff. This is a big deal today because it's basically comics gators getting a scalp. And she brought this on herself, and she was part of the problem that was at Marvel, which is instead of listening to fans or talking to the fans who were just mildly complaining about stuff on Twitter, which was a lot of it, was just like, hey, maybe you want to try things different. She would focus on there's horrible people on both sides, but there were some pretty horrible ones. And she would focus on that and highlight that to bring attention to herself. And she did this little milkshake thing over the summer, and it was right about the time Marvel was going to start their big event. And it took away attention. She basically went to Marvel, got a job, had no experience in comics. The comics she edited were pretty god awful. There was a lot of mistakes in them. And she did it as a springboard for herself. There's even a video today that showed an interview with her, and they asked her what got her into comic books. And her answer was the Batman TV show and Chris O'Donnell from Batman and Forever. That tells you everything you need to know. It wasn't even a comic book answer. And it was an answer from a character from another company. So I'm glad she's gone. I think it's part of the problem there. It's part of the cleaning the house, because Marvel has brought the industry down to lows that were I didn't think you could achieve. The 90s looks great now compared to what's going on. I really want there to be an industry so I can have a comic shop. It's been part of this plan for this whole damn station, was to me to have this tied in with a comic shop. And I want there to be an industry, and nothing personal against her as a person, but as a professional and what she did at Marvel. And Mark Waid is right up there too, and Dan Slott. And these are guys I used to follow and like. And I don't anymore because of their act on in other places and how they've treated fans and been super unprofessional. And instead of just focusing on their work, they decided to double down and do some crappy stuff to fans. And some of the fans deserve it. Yeah, but you don't feed the trolls. Duh. Okay. Duh. You just don't do it. So, yeah, she's gone, and she's moving on to a sports betting site, which I thought was hilarious. That's, I don't know. I guess what you're saying, Dennis, they get paid a lot more.
Yep.
Yeah, there's more money in betting. I just don't know how legal it is, and but whatever, man. Good luck to you over there. Glad she's gone. Yeah, I can't go into more. I know more than I'm saying, but I'm just glad she's gone. She was not good for the comics industry. She was all about herself, and yeah, that's too bad, and that's good to bring attention to yourself if you're talking about your comic books. But one of the big things she was nailed for was when somebody asked, because Gwenpool is based on her, the look is based on her, and somebody asked her when that comic was coming out, she didn't know, and she was the editor on the book. So there it is. My rant's over. But yeah, I was very happy about that. Started out the day in such a good mood over that. I know it's bad. I don't like the Schadenfreude too much, but bye-bye, Heather.
Viking Bitch says, so Spider-Man is like Jesus. He goes from 13 to 30.
Yes, exactly. And comes back from the dead and has a Mary Magdalene. So yeah, I think he's just like Jesus. But he didn't have this. He had the Sinister Six, so not 12 disciples. But there was Ben Reilly. That's kind of a Judas, right?
I don't know.
No, Harry Osborn's more of a Judas. Sorry.
Yeah.
Harry Osborn's is Judas.
So,
speaking of good comic stuff, we go into the Rob Liefeld stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to do.
Yeah.
Rob Liefeld, he just struck a deal with Netflix to bring his Extreme Universe to live action Netflix series. He struck a 7-figure deal, mind you, to bring these to live action. Now, if you're not familiar with the Extreme Universe, and I don't blame you if you aren't, Gary, would you like to expound upon it?
The Extreme Universe is basically a ripoff of Marvel, and it was during the very extreme Mountain Dew driven 90s, which you all remember. And
was it extreme?
It was extreme, and this was aside from the Image stuff. I can't remember a single fucking character from this. I just remember cracking it open. Like everybody hated Rob Liefeld back then. Like everybody, nobody liked his art. I don't understand. I guess some people did. I never met any of them. I'm happy for him though, dude. If he could turn that into a check, that is obvious. Netflix, it did not crack open a single comic. They just think, oh, it's comic books. It's just like Marvel. Let's buy it. Maybe I should go down to Netflix and show them some of my old
Supreme.
comics. Yeah. Squadron Supreme.
Yeah, that's Squadron Supreme wasn't part of the
That's not
Extreme.
part of the Extreme. No.
But Johnny Pop says, I want to see Supreme. I don't know who Supreme is.
Supreme? Yeah. Supreme's like a Superman ripoff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I didn't see any of that at all.
He's like Superion in the Tick. Kind of. Yeah. Well, there's also Prime. Remember Prime?
Yeah, I remember Prime. Yeah, that's right.
I had a big cutout of Prime at the Comic Outpost forever. Yeah.
Yeah. That's, I think, the only reason why I know him. Johnny Papa says there's so many people who hate him, meaning Liefeld. Seems irrational. You know what? He's the nicest guy. He doesn't take anything to heart about what people say to him. And he can't draw hands or feet for crap. And he draws lots and lots of pouches.
And he also admitted that all of his characters are ripoffs. But you know what? I think a lot of characters are. So there's not much of that. But do you know who wrote Supreme? Alan Moore wrote a Supreme. He did. He worked for Rob Liefeld. He did. So actually, there might be some stuff they can actually, now that I think about it, yeah, maybe it's a good move. Maybe it translates to TV.
Possibly. I mean, I don't think they would actually, dump 7 figures in there without looking at things.
Oh, yes, they would. Absolutely, they would. I'm not saying that happened in this case, but I guarantee goddamn to you they would.
Arturo, yes, I would love to see a real life action Static Shock as well. A lot of us would. That was such a good series, man.
Black Lightning was supposed to be Static Shock, and didn't I hear it here? When didn't you guys say that in the chat that there was some rights issues that they backed out last minute, turned it into Black Lightning?
Was that what it was? I thought it was always supposed to be Black Lightning.
Nope. They were originally going to do Static Shock.
Wait, that's right. The guy who produced it wanted to do Static Shock, but he couldn't
because the family of the creator,
I think the creator's Dwayne Duffy. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, wanted more money, and they said nope.
That's right. Right.
I think reading that. It'll go somewhere else. It's a character that would translate really well to television, to be honest with you.
They actually aged him a little bit for Batman Beyond, the TV series, the animated series, and they stuck him in the future, and that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they really did
such an awesome job, and that's where it would be awesome if they could actually do a future version. If they did the future version of DC, okay, I'm going to go off on a little rant here. Trash the DC universe that you have right now. Just absolutely trash it completely because it's not working. And do this future universe that they had set up in the Batman Beyond series, because they had a whole Batman Justice League, a Justice League in Batman Beyond. So they had the original Superman, but he's older, and Lois Lane is dead. They have a Green Lantern who's this little bald kid, like a Buddhist monk kind of kid. They have an Aquaman who's actually female, and I can't remember her name right now. And honestly, Static Shock was there as well. They have Hawkman. Hawkman is actually the child of Hawkgirl and Jon Stewart, which was awesome. I mean, and he had the flight powers and all that stuff too. Do that, for God's sakes. Make a movie series around that. If you really want your Justice League.
I'd like to see the proper Justice League first. That's just me. I mean, that sounds fun down the road. That's where you like go with your 20th movie, kind of like what Marvel's going to do. But I'd like to see the real deals. You know, you can't get that fringe. I mean, it sounds cool. I mean, that's definitely like playing to the comic book fans for sure, and I would see it for sure. But you know what? Get the real ones right. They're so close. They are. They are closer than you think to getting things right. They really got to. At least with Superman, they've got their Superman. They just need to find a guy who can
play Batman.
Dude, there's people out there who could. Dude, I'd be okay with Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing fucking Batman. I think that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I just saw him. I was watching Walking Dead, the last Walking Dead. He's looking a little bit older there. So,
aren't we all?
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
Yes, Warhawk, by the way. Yes, Jody. Rex Stewart. He was awesome. Loved him. Some good stuff. So, and our final piece of news that I've got here was something that we've been discussing. So, there's an article that I posted earlier today for a little bit of discussion on the Facebook page about TV ads in this age of cord cutting and where everything is going with TV ads. So Fox has taken the initiative and they're going to try and lessen the amount of ads, but they're going to try and mix it in. So lessen the amount of actual commercials during a TV show. Because right now, for every hour of TV on network TV, there's at least 10 point, and I'm trying to remember, 6 minutes of commercials. I think it's actually a bit more than that, I'll tell you the truth. And so Fox has been trying different things. Like with Empire, their TV show, they've been mixing in Pepsi ads within the show itself, like product placements. Also during NFL games, Major League Baseball games, things like that, they were showing commercials, picture within picture. So they'll do movie spots while the football game is playing, things like that. And then also AMC has done this as well. You mix in a 6-second commercial. You take a little break from the TV show, put in a 6-second commercial, then go back to the action again. And what do you think about any of this? Where would you like it to go? And I'm just talking about network TV now, not cord cutting, of course. I don't want to see any. If I'm paying for this stuff, I don't want to see any kind of commercials in my TV shows that I'm paying for.
No, that totally irritated me about CBS All Access, and like you have 2 different tiers for paying. It's too expensive for one.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's like a $3 access one that you got to watch for commercials, okay, I'm cool with that. But you're making me pay $7 and I got to watch commercials, and I got to pay $10 to not watch commercials. Yeah, that was the reason I was out. Like the minute Star Trek Discovery was done, kill my my subscription. You want to keep people in, you got to incentivize early on. I hate commercials, period. Viking bitch. Agreed.
Yeah.
If everything's going to streaming, F commercials. Okay. If you want to like sneak in product placement and do it subtly, fine. I don't care. But God, have you not noticed every Uber and Lyft commercial and freaking all the superhero shit lately? That's been nuts.
The Tick.
The Tick. Runaways was I'm going to get a lift every 5 minutes.
I'm going to get a lift. See?
Yeah, I'm a superhero and fly, but I'm going to get a lift. Right. I don't know. I think that's I think that also is a sign that they're in trouble.
Oh yeah, definitely. And one of the things also that this that article was talking about was that a lot of these companies that are doing commercials, they're doubling down. So they're paying for multiple ads in an hour when people are just getting sick of it. Case in point, remember the Apple ad that everyone was talking about what's a computer? That thing used to play all the time, man. That would just, and sometimes it'd play back to back. So you get 2 of them in a row. and it was pissing people off more than anything else.
Yes, Ghost World, but Gary can't argue that the commercial breaks at CBS All Access were more entertaining than Star Trek Discovery was.
This is true.
Touche. Maybe I would have liked it more if I'd have kept the commercials in. Product placement is fine, says Jody, but give us an actual hour and a half of the show and cut out all the ads completely. Yeah. I mean, if you have a built-in audience, I would rather do it like you do in a movie, where like make me watch 6 commercials before it starts, and that gives me time to like go to the bathroom and stuff. But like most people are going to see those. Like before Game of Thrones, you put on 6 commercials, people will watch.
Okay, so way back in the 80s, European TV, the way they used to do it was you'd watch your show commercial free, and at the very end, they would do like about 10 minutes worth of commercials in a row. So you could go and do, go to the bathroom, get something to eat, whatever it was. You didn't have to watch all the commercials because it was all in a big block at the end of your show. Do that.
That's how the bills. I mean, they've been pushing. That's how the bills get paid. But you know what? We haven't had free television for years. Yes, back in my day, it used to come through the air into a metal rod in the ground, and I had to turn the switch. You know. Yeah, and now they make us pay and then pay and then pay. You know, we've got better things to do. And YouTube is just crushing everybody right now. It's the second most viewed thing on the internet now. And it is exploding to where they actually changed YouTube was going to try to be Netflix. That's what they were going to do. That was their big plan, was going to be Netflix, like that whole YouTube TV thing. And they were going to push us aside, and make us on a lower tier. Now they like, I don't know, like the last couple of months, they've realized that, oh shit, we've got something huge here. And I don't know, they still don't quite know what to do. I don't understand it. They don't understand it. The reason people started flocking to YouTube was freaking the election for either side. People flocked to YouTube, and that's when things started exploding. And it's been around. It's been a simmer. It's been a good growth, but that kind of just exploded, and people stayed for other reasons. They, for whatever reason that is, and it's really good that for us anyway, and for some of our friends out there, and the growth I've seen in some channels like ours has been, I'm very happy with our growth. But I've seen other channels just like blow up. The aforementioned world-class bullshitters. I was a subscriber to theirs when they had 1,000 subscribers, and they've got 22 now. They did a couple of hate Star Wars videos and got a lot of love off of those. And I don't want to do those. I really don't. But yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. I think it's just dead. I think when they start thinking about this stuff, Dennis, it's kind of over, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. When they start discussing it, do we need to have a discussion?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Dad.
Like if your wife's cheating on you all the time, and you just sit down and go, okay, maybe just one boyfriend is okay. Yeah. Might want to consider getting out of the relationship. Yeah, you can watch,
but you got to be quiet.
Yeah.
And no clinking of the ice cubes in the drink while you're drinking. Ghost World says, while watching Star Trek Discovery, we need a reverse TiVo where we can skip the show Discovery to get to the commercials.
If I can, I know. Can I have a button to put him back in the mirror universe again? That would be fine. That was entertaining enough, but God damn it.
And Ghost World says, speaking of which, is that YouTube red crap actually doing anything?
I like it because it's right next to my channel. When I go back I can't recommend it to anybody. But I mean, I pay for it, and the DVR feature is fine. It's really good. I got a VPN now, so I can watch East Coast time stuff. But it's no different than DirecTV now. I don't think there's any difference between the two. Just pick one. I think they're the same price, and it's better than Sling. We tried Sling. I would not recommend Sling. It's just their connection is terrible.
Yeah,
all the time.
And for me, DirecTV Now, I came in on the grandfather deal, so I pay $35 a month for over 100 channels, and I'm not getting rid of that thing anytime soon because that's a lot cheaper than cable.
Yeah, and that's what I got with YouTube TV. It's like same exact thing. I don't want to give money to the cable companies or DirecTV now. I'm done giving them money. So I'd rather support YouTube. You know, the gazillion-dollar company that does not need my money at all, but well, we get money from YouTube Red. Like it's pennies, but we get money from YouTube Red. I don't totally understand. I have YouTube Red just because I like the feature of your videos play when your phone's turned off, or when your phone is when your screen is asleep, your videos will play. So I don't know if regular YouTube does that yet, but if you have YouTube Red, you can just listen to your YouTube and put your phone to sleep, and it won't turn off the video.
Weird.
I got it. It's good.
I
think they should get everybody. I think they should not make that a Red feature. That should be for everybody.
Johnny, when Cobra Kai comes out, I'm gonna have to break down and take a look at YouTube Red myself. Hopefully they're gonna sell those episodes, episode by episode, because I'd rather do it that way than having to subscribe to watch Cobra Kai.
I don't even know what I'm paying for YouTube Red, but I watch enough YouTube to where it's worth it. Yeah, I like DirecTV when I had it, Johnny.
Yeah, it's DirecTV Now. So it's pretty much the same thing as DirecTV.
Their prices like they always do.
Oh, they already did. I mean, but the thing is, if you came in at the lower deal, they can't touch you on that until you decide to leave.
YouTube Red, we get part of because when people join up for YouTube Red, it's an ad blocker too. So but we're content creators, so we're in a partnership with YouTube. So they give us, I mean, it equates to what we would get from the ad revenue. But I mean, seriously, it's like $5 a month. It's like nothing. But it's cool. The fact that we get $5 a month for this is rad. I think I never went into this and still am not ever going to do this for money. We love our Patreon and stuff. And that's basically going towards content. It's going for stuff for you guys. So, I mean, it's just going to be flipped right back to you.
And speaking of which, we should do a little housekeeping.
Oh yeah, we should probably do that. So let me your Twitter while I look up Patreon.
For those of you who have seen, and actually Johnny already did this earlier, there's a little tiny $sign right down there in the chat window. You can actually click on that and tip us money if you feel doing so. And we also have Patreon, which Gary's going to get to in a little bit here. But you can find me on Twitter at DeForest. You can find Gary at Nerdrotics. You can find John at JohnReed16. And you can also find Melissa at Agent Bossy Boots. Those are all on Twitter. We also have a Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook at Nerdrotic Podcasts. We also have a Nerdrotic Podcast group on Facebook as well, where everyone can comment and post stuff. And actually, I think we have a pretty good active community going on right now. We've got about 100 people on there.
That's great. That is so great. All right, here we're going to share the Patreon page here. There it is. Present it to everybody.
Sweet.
Present to everyone. There it is. So there, we got 3 tiers. There's I'll buy that for $1. Which is throw us $1 a month and you'll receive undying gratitude. You'll be thanked by a name at the end of every podcast, of which I have not been doing very well, by the way. You can make requests and have exclusive access to once a month Patreon only podcast, which starts next week. Very excited. The second tier is I always forget what how much is it? $10?
$10.
$5. Look at that. $5.
$5? Oh.
Yeah, it's $5. That's a
$10.
freaking bargain. The Comic Outpost Memorial tier, which is I used to own the Comic Outpost. I'm not going to refer to myself in the third person, blah blah blah. So you get some we did some variants. You get the variant covers and you also get this everything from the first tier. The $15 tier is all the good stuff. This tier you get basically a Loot Crate box. It's called the What's in the Box box, and the pictures there are an example of what you'll get. So you get the 3 variants, you get everything from the first tier, and you're going to get 3 to 4 comics and 3 to 4 action figures of a mixed variety. And that is once we start generating. We haven't generated any content we're going to charge you for yet, but that is changing at Sunday. Actually, Sunday all day I'm actually editing. It's been a long time. I used to do that for money. It was kind of cool.
Nice.
So yeah, we also have a Twitter, or I have a Twitter. It's at Nerdrotics, and we have a main website, which is nerdrotic.com, which is kind of how it all started. And it's basically what you see here on YouTube, but we have the audio versions. You can I wish I could make our audio downloadable on that damn site, but we can't. So I do have if you don't have iTunes, I have a link up there for an Android site. You do have to download the app. It's player.fm. It's free. I don't know if it's loaded with a bunch of crap though. If it is, let me know. If it's got a bunch of spammy crap, then I'll take it off.
Also, there was another player as well. I have to take a look at.
Okay, well, so player.fm is up there. The link is up there. It's basically a mirror to iTunes. So it's everything that's on iTunes is on player.fm. I've downloaded it on my phone. I have not seen any crazy pop-up ads or anything. So yeah, but if any of you experience anything bad, please let me know and I'll find another place.
Nice.
Viking Bitch says it works well. Good. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Honestly, I found it by Googling Nerdrotic, and I'm like, I've never heard of this thing. I don't know how they got our feed. I don't know any of this because I didn't. So they must somehow backdoor, or maybe they are iTunes. Maybe it's owned by Apple.
It probably,
has to be.
yeah.
Yeah.
Keep talking there. I'm actually searching for the other link there. I've got it. We've got it up on the site here as well. So,
what for iTunes or?
It's actually another Android one that someone else, one of our users, actually listens to us through that.
Sweet.
And mentioned it to us, and I completely forgot what it is. So that's what I'm looking at right now.
Well, there is a place you can go and you can pick like one of 6 apps to download. I can throw that one up too. I found that too. You can find it by just Googling Nerdrotic and digging a little bit.
Pocket Cast for Android.
There you go. Is it another mirror? Is it just like
actually one of our listeners actually just said Pocket Cast for Android works as well.
Okay, so, but what is it? I mean, I haven't said. Are you looking at it?
No, I'm not looking at it. I'm just looking at the comment.
Okay, well, as long as it works, that's cool. I mean, as long as it works and doesn't spam you to death, and that's cool. So you get the audio versions of our blah blah. So sometimes I'll throw in a little extra if I have time. I usually don't, but I used to get we used to have a theme song. The battle from Flash Gordon was our theme song for like 150 podcasts, 100 podcasts, something like that. Sped up 6%, by the way, to avoid the YouTube algorithm, which stopped working. That's why I stopped putting on. So yeah, so our Patreon content is going to be coming up soon. Dennis and I will be reviewing Bubba Hotep and Solomon Kane. We're also going to be start our very long Venture Brothers recap, which is a request of Viking Bitch. I saw a couple other requests up there that we're going to get to. It's going to be our highest priority other than our channel. So a little extra work. I needed to get excuse time. I need to get used to my new job. It's a great job, but it's a lot more work than my last job was, which is good. It keeps me very, very busy. But it takes brain power. The other job, I wasn't thinking very much. I was actually thinking about the podcast all the time. So no, I have to actually concentrate on this job, and it's a great job, but damn, it was a busy day today. I'll tell you that. So yeah, I'm very happy with the channel's growth.
I am too, man. I mean, we've gotten, as I was saying before, in December, we hit 1,000 views, or 1,000 subscribers, excuse me, on YouTube here. And we are just as of yesterday up to 1,500 subscribers.
Yeah.
So
in 2 months.
In 2 months. Yeah.
A little over 2 months. So this is a lot like being in a band. I don't know if any of y'all have been in a band out there. I've been in a couple bands. I play a couple instruments. It's hard to keep bands together. But when you get success, when like a few people start showing up to a club, it like fires everybody up and gets most people into it. Some people fall by the wayside and you replace them. But it's a lot like that. But this is way more fun. For one, it doesn't require endless days of practice and people not showing up to practice. And it's way more communal with us being able to talk to you guys. This is the best part about it is this is my favorite podcast to do. I like talking to you guys. We're probably going to extend. I've been noticing that I still want to do the Friday thing. I like sticking with something we've started, so I'm not going to change that, but we might add Sunday during the day. But that might cost us my Monday thing. I don't know. I can't do both, but I really want to do a during the day thing because more people are awake. Unfortunately, we have to do these because I work, so that's
and
what
me
I do
too.
tonight. And you do too. But I'm off Sunday, Monday, so maybe Sunday during the day, or at least when the wife's working. We'll figure something out. But I want to do something during the day too, which is purely like we won't even do news. We'll just sit and talk. We'll just see where the conversation takes us. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Sorry, I was just reading Ghost World's comment. He goes, and like being in a band, it doesn't require any real skill. And of course, he had a little tongue out.
That is true.
Penn Farm Girl says Gary brings some instruments on air and play.
Oh man, that will have to be later. Maybe
You can do that
on
on
celebration
the nooner.
On the nooner. I could do a little. I mean, because like bass by itself is just amazing. It's still my practice bass is right there. So yeah. As a matter of fact, I played a lot before I started. It helps me loosen up a little bit. What time on Sunday? Jody asked. I would like to do. Well, Dennis has got his card game, but I'd like to do it in the afternoon, like early afternoon, our time, which is 1, 2, 3, something like that. So you guys wouldn't have to stay up super late.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock rock.
Yeah, something like that. Also, like Friday night's getting really crowded. For one, there's guys I like to watch who are on Friday night. Actually, one's on right now. And like I've been on that one a couple times too. So actually they I Love Comics, which is a bigger site than us. He's got like 5,400 subscribers. He's big. He's had some videos that like upwards like 250,000, 500,000 views, just one single video. He reposted Comics Division and our talk about comic book retailing. He posted that today on his channel. So that was very cool. I was not expected. So thank you, England team, for doing that. That was very nice. No, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. He comes down very hard on one side of the comics gate, so not everybody's going to agree with him, but he does love comic books and he does straight up like normal comic book reviews, which I love.
Nice.
So yeah, it's good stuff.
So I am out of news actually, and so we're just free-forming it at this point. What do you guys want to talk about? Anything tickling your fancy this week? Other than the Looming Tower. Lavash Kumar says, "Is the Looming Tower worth watching?" I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is. You tell us.
Yeah. Viking Bitch says, "Nope. I secretly wish for the judge to kick their asses." Okay, I'm missing something here. Oh, there we go. She said earlier, "Okay, my juveniles have court and I have to be there to see what kind of punishment they get." Nope. I secretly wish for the judge to kick their asses. That's what it was. Okay. Love watching reading that out of context there.
Yeah. Oh.
Ghost World says, "I'm about to head out, everyone. It's 1 a.m. here. Need to be up early. Good night, Ghost World. See you."
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Mark? We've missed most of the show. Yeah, we're kind of wrapping things up. Sometimes they can go 4 hours, sometimes they can go 2, but I do have to work myself tomorrow. Good night, Ghost World. Thank you as always.
I don't. I have to go watch more Jessica Jones because obviously I need to catch up.
Well, I'm gonna watch Jessica Jones before I go to bed too. I mean, I don't hit the rack till like 1, but I do have to be at work at 8. So
I just need to watch
6.
I seen to walk a little dog that came by and looked at me like, when are you gonna take me out to go pee?
That's what you have
But
kids for, dude. They do that stuff for you. Oh, wait, I was just saying I have to be on court Monday. So, what?
Yeah, that
Um,
was for the kids that you remember when she was talking about
you're
the
the
kids.
judge? No,
No.
I've been to court, Viking bitch, many times.
I've been to court
That's a
too.
story for another podcast right there.
Oh.
Oh yeah, my court appearances. Too many of them.
Danny Rose says, I've seen the first few episodes of the Looming Towers and I enjoyed it.
Okay. I gotta check it out then. I will write. I got my little note. I have my notes of suggestions that I take here from our viewers.
Ghost World says, and I think he's talking to Mark. He goes, and no worries, you missed the worst part of the show when Dennis was speaking.
Oh wow! I totally agree with you. I am
That's
the
which
law.
finger I'm holding up right now. Hey, you know what, Johnny? Funny story at Comic-Con. When was it? It was when Aaron's last year here at Comic-Con. So it's 2 years ago. We were sitting down in a panel, a Judge Dredd panel. It was actually the 2000 AD panel, and it was all the guys who draw 2000 AD, Judge Dredd, and whatnot. And they were having a contest of who could say "I am the law" in the best Judge Dredd voice to win books. They actually had some art books, and so I was the last person who got picked, and so it was like 5 people altogether is what it was. So 4 guys and this one little 8-year-old girl. You can kind of guess who won the first prize on that one. It wasn't me. It was the 8-year-old girl, because she did a damn good "I am the law" voice, I have to admit. And I had to go in after her. So, but I still got second place out of it, so it wasn't that bad.
I'd have just dropped like a bunch of F-bombs right in front of her because I knew I was gonna lose. And just, I am the motherfucking law. No, that's terrible.
Yeah, it was pretty funny though. I mean, because when she did it, everyone just like started cheering, and I looked at the guy with the microphone, and I'm like, "Come on, really?" And he just kind of shrugged. He goes, "Yep, you got to go for it."
Yeah,
Yeah. So
a little on the nose with the little girl though. I'd have gone with you.
Yeah. No, she did a good job though. I have to admit, she did do a good job.
That's great.
But yeah, I got a good art book out of it, which is sitting on my bookshelf. I'll bring that up one time.
There you go. Yeah. I went to a comic store. I bought a bunch of comics. I showed them on Monday though. This is my first pull in since the Comic Outpost. So since before I owned it. And I thought I'm gonna go in there and just have like they had a 7 title minimum. I'm already up to like 20 titles. It's ridiculous. I've read everything. They're so good. My God, this is the first time in my life though, more DC than Marvel. And this is the first time I've ever picked up Green Lantern. I'm doing Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corpse. Good. Ethan Van Sciver is like one of my favorite artists, and I love his fucking YouTube channel. By the way, that guy's so good. So we have channel art above. That's Derek Robertson's art, and it's from the Comic Outpost, and it's a Cosmic Crater Girl reading a comic book. It says Tales from the Outpost in the comic. You can see Derek's signature on the back of the comic if you look at it. But I want to do something that's more in line of our show. So I don't know. I was either thinking like you and I do something, or I commission somebody, because I want to do kind of a Last Supper, but at a bar with all the all the main characters from the show we cover. So like Jesse from Preacher and the Man in Black from Westworld and Naomi.
How about that famous painting of the old diner, the old 50s diner?
Yeah, but then you can only put 3 characters in that. There's only 3 characters in it. So or 3 or 4.
We do dogs playing poker.
I want to put 12. So and I want them all facing, because the channel art's it's very restrictive on the desktop. Okay, for your phone, it's 3 different sizes and it's ridiculous. And they haven't changed that forever. So yeah, I wanted it to be more like a Last Supper so I can fit more characters in. I did think about the diner one, but there's not enough people in it, and it's at a weird angle. So yeah, I want to like get our main characters, and I don't know who we'd put in the middle, like Jon Snow or something like that. And yeah, do some of the characters that we cover. I think that'd be fun. But I know like you and I could do it, but it'd take us like a year. It would.
Yeah, it would. I know.
Yeah, I wish I had time to draw.
Jody asks us, Gary and Dennis, how would you guys do the MCU post Infinity War?
I would recast. I would add new characters and keep them, and I would just I'd keep it going. I just, somebody else is playing Iron Man, and just that was done all the damn time. Treat it like Bond, recast. I would add new characters, take it, and like every 10 years lead it up to a big event. We were doing the Infinity Gauntlet for the first one. I would do Secret Wars for the second one. So I'd lead everything up to Secret Wars, and I would I would launch everything with a mini event to lead into a big event. So I would use Secret Invasion to lead to Secret Wars. They don't even need to be connected. But Secret Wars is so fun. The only one I think is a little better, but it's harder to do, was the original Contest of Champions. I thought that was brilliant. But that's how I would do it. I would treat it like Marvel Comics. I would not kill characters and keep them dead and like pass on this damn mantle thing to try to change the world in a very cheap and lazy way, instead of like, and that way you could create new characters, have time to build them in the comic books, and then bring them over to the cinematic universe. What they did was they tried to force characters into as mantles, and they just, what's funny is they made Iron Man 3, the movie Iron Man. What was the central theme of Iron Man 3, Dennis?
Christmas?
No.
The central theme of Iron Man 3 was him having a panic attack about the Avengers, what happened in Avengers.
The central theme of Iron Man, and I gave you 2 chances, bro, is he is a superhero without the suit. He doesn't need the suit.
That the mechanic, yeah. He fixes problems. Yes.
He's a problem solver, okay, which is a very underrated skill that I always look for as a boss, is like, how good of a problem solver are you? Are you just the guy who like needs to go, what do I do next? Or are you or gal, or are you like a problem solver? And that was great. That was awesome. So right after they make that movie, they replace him. They replace him with somebody else. And right after, the whole theme is like, we like Tony Stark. Okay. So I don't have a problem with new characters. They need to develop new characters. It keeps things fresh. It's okay to kill some characters, but not your main ones. So that's what I would do. Long story short, follow the themes of the comic books a little bit, play with the fringes, and go from there. They're already getting to places I don't like. As awesome as Infinity, and I swear to God, I'm going to name one of our videos this someday. What if Infinity War sucks? I'm already noticing them cut back on stuff like the costumes. Like, they're not looking like the superhero. The Black Widow costume look ridiculous. I don't know if you guys saw it on Entertainment Weekly, but it's dumb. And she's got blonde hair now. She doesn't. So it's pretty much maybe the last movie she's going to be in. And she doesn't look like Black Widow at all. Captain America doesn't look like Captain America. Iron Man at least looks like Iron Man. The White Wolf, it looks like just another version of Hawkeye. We're going to start getting more guys just wearing like really just paramilitary suits and not costumes. And I think that's going backwards a little bit. I don't know. Where would you take it, Dennis?
I would take it. Well, first of all, I'd introduce the Fantastic Four and the X-Men.
Oh God, yes.
First of all, and then man,
that's a, if that happens though, and that's a big if at that point.
Yeah, that's a big if. I mean, if you really want to go out there, I would almost go Exiles on it, if you will, and wind it up in a different alternate Marvel universe, and actually do the 616 and do it properly like the comics, and call this Marvel universe another universe altogether, not call it the 616, because obviously it isn't. and then just start over again from scratch. And you can actually, again, you could do all your recasting and just say all this.
Would you tell Origins again?
No, wouldn't tell Origins. You just have these characters, but you can have different stories. You can do different.
Well, why don't you just continue everything on and just recast? Because you've already done the Origins. You've already done all the building. Why destroy it again? That's not Marvel.
Destroying it. You wouldn't be destroying it, though. You'd be going just to a different world.
That's very DC. I wouldn't do that. It's very DC to restart things. I would just, go to, I don't know. That it's your thing. You're allowed to do it.
Yeah, like Jetty was saying, explore the Marvel multiverse. I like the multiverse myself, but then again, I was a big fan of the Exiles.
Exiles was a fun book for what it was. Really fun for a while. It could be.
They could get old. Yeah,
it was the only thing Judd Winnick could write. It was the only thing he could write.
Oh, that's true. I mean,
more mileage off of the freaking real world.
Every time they stuck him on a book, it would get canceled.
Oh,
near cancellation.
Just
Green Lantern.
Good indie writer. He was a good indie writer, a good artist, and Exiles he was good on. But man, he got more than. Have you even heard his name anymore? Does he even write comics anymore?
He actually does the animated stuff now. He works in the animated realm with Bruce Timm.
That was where he belonged. He was more of that kind of guy. Anyway.
Yeah. But he works on the scripts, so that's what he writes now.
You know what I don't like, Dennis, is with so many comic writers and producers and creators right now, they've always got one foot out the door. They're always, like I brought up with Heather Antos. She just used this as a springboard. And once in a while it's okay, but it seems the industry, the comic industry has been taken over by people who just want to work in Hollywood. And we've gotten rid of comic writers like Christopher Priest is back now. We lost a lot of people like him to them being tired of the politics and just not focusing on comics. It's like everything but the comic books is being dealt with, even within the realm of comics now. And people wonder why it's dying. It's really simple. You need comic people to write comic books. If you want to go off of movies, dabble in the comic books, that's fine. But that's been my biggest problem is one foot out the door.
Remember Steve Niles, 30 Days a Night. And I've told the story to you before. I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast. I saw him. It was either at WonderCon or when WonderCon was still in San Francisco. I think actually, it was WonderCon when it was in San Francisco. And I was going to try and meet him and Ben Templesmith because Ben Templesmith was there as well. And he was just sitting there by himself at the booth. Went up to him, started talking. I talked to him for like a good 45 minutes, I think it was, about just, everything. And he said, yeah, the way he got into this, how he got into comics was originally he had written a script. This was his Cal McDonald series.
Yeah,
Cal McDonald,
which is really good. Yep,
which is awesome. I would love to see a Cal McDonald series.
Love Me Tenderloin.
Yeah, Love Me Tenderloin. Yeah, Dial M for Monster. So Dial M for Monster was his first script that he had written, and he was actually trying to sell this as a script to Hollywood. No one would buy it. So
good night, Viking bitch.
Good night, Viking bitch.
So are you saying good night to somebody else? I only caught that.
No, she's saying good night.
Good night, Viking bitch. We're almost
done. So he ended up making it into a book, like an actual novel. So that's his first novel that he did. Someone had read it and said, hey, you should make this into a comic. So he actually went and shopped it as a comic. And that's how everything started happening for him.
Yeah. Sorry. Good night, Johnny Pappas. He said good night. So she was saying good night to him. Yeah.
Good night, Johnny.
Context. Good night, Johnny.
Tell Ghost World to watch Counterpart. Yes.
Yeah. Jesus. No, that's the reverse way is great. He was shopping around a script. It doesn't work. But the problem is that's what the entire comic industry has become. Failed scripts. Look at everything by Black Mask. Oh my God. You want to read the worst comic ever. Cal Exit's pretty bad. It's I
know some people that work for Black Mask, so I'm not going to say anything.
So do I. and it's the worst comic I ever read. None of them work on that comic. Black Mask is a creator owned. So
yeah. A lot of them used to work for Image too. That's all I'm gonna say. Before Image moved out of the Bay Area.
Yeah, because Berkeley became too high rent, so they went to Portland.
Portland or Seattle?
Portland.
It was
in Portland. Yeah,
because I know
Comics and Toast.
The owner of Larson stayed in San Francisco, so he still lives in the city.
I don't know.
I follow him on Facebook, and yeah, he was just mentioning how he went over to Bob's Donuts for the first time a couple of weeks ago because his son took him over there.
So the editor-in-chief of Image doesn't. Well, yeah, he's still the editor-in-chief at Image, right? But I guess you don't need to go into the offices. But yeah, the offices are in Portland.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no.
I follow him on Facebook. I just don't read anything he puts up. It's pretty annoying.
He does some interesting tutorials and stuff like that. It's mostly tutorials now that he does about comics. Some of them good, some of them okay.
I stopped reading a lot of the guy's stuff. Like Mark Waid is untreated depression. If you read some, he like overshared so badly on Facebook.
That's like Warren Ellis on Twitter. Wow, man. I mean, wow. That's all I can say.
What Warren does it charming in a charming way. Mark Waid is like desperation. I worry about him. I genuinely like want to go. There's a couple times where he's completely these huge paragraphs and he's freaking out over some troll like he just shouldn't have argued with, and yeah. I mean that's artists though. I understand that. That's artists. Good night, Johnny Pappas. So yeah, they it's crazy. But they're allowed to say what they want. I went through my oversharing stage on Facebook and Twitter and stopped many years ago. Yeah, Twitter used to be fun. Long time ago. Long time ago.
Yeah, Twitter's a weird animal. It doesn't know what it wants to be.
It doesn't. It was really fun to interact with creators, but then it just turned into something else.
It turned to Facebook.
Yeah. We like YouTube though. Look, to end on a brighter note. So we're gonna for the patrons. I think when do you want to do? What's a good night for us to do a live patron only stream in the next? Pick a day, Dennis. A day we're not. I mean, right now we're not doing a lot during the week. So we could probably do I
would say a Tuesday or Thursday.
Okay. So look for us on a Tuesday or Thursday for our patrons. What we'll do is we'll probably put a snippet of it on the channel just to let y'all know how it goes. As usual, our upcoming shows are Counterparts. Well, actually, we're going to do Jessica Jones tomorrow and during the day on Sunday, and then Counterpart Sunday night, and then Ash vs. Evil Dead with Susan Layton on Monday. Can't wait for that. That's going to be fun, and maybe we can get people. I think people just have bailed on that show, man.
Yeah, they have. And it's depressing that they have because it's still good. I mean, it's got the light there. And I know it picks up midway through the season. Is what they're saying. So
that's almost a bad sign when people say, "Oh, it picks up." That means like what? The first 4 episodes suck, but they haven't sucked to me. I think they're good. I just think we should do a shorter video on this, and maybe somebody will listen. Probably won't, but and what do you guys think? Is don't you think when a show takes a little bit longer to come back, people just forget about it? Where Ash should come out during Halloween. Okay, it should not come out around Easter. I mean, they even filmed the way it's filmed. You see, there's leaves on the ground and everything. It's fall. It belongs in Halloween. I would, if you're going to delay it till next Halloween. I mean, they almost should have done that. That was, but it definitely hurt them. It's not ego driven. Okay. But we used to get a lot of views on our podcast, and we did get a decent amount on the first episode, and people just jumped off. And either we really sucked, which I always keep that in mind, that we really sucked. That's probably it. But the other reason could be that people just aren't into the show. Because like, dude, we have like the lowest views ever for that. That was crazy.
Yeah,
We're doing it, but dude,
it really has to be because they waited for so long. Viking Bitch says, yeah, Ash would do better at Halloween. Definitely agree.
Viking Bitch, I totally agree with you. What I mean, everybody's got their problem here. Like, I've got my problems. Shit. I go to AA meetings. Okay, I got my problems. And I try to work them out. I just don't share about it. I mean, if you got to cry for help, pick up the damn phone and call a friend or something. I've got friends who do it. I've got friends who get on there, not naming names, but talked about what was a good. Oh, they were talking about a good antidepressant medication, just asking out loud, hey, what's a good antidepressant medication? I just, maybe that's me. Maybe I'm old fashioned. Maybe that's, maybe it's okay to ask that. If I would try to call a friend or two before I went out and shouted it out on Facebook. Yeah.
Viking Bitch says,
that is so nice. You can read it off.
Yeah, Viking Bitch says you guys never sucked. Well, maybe Gary, but that was just during a different phase.
That is not true. We have sucked many times.
We have sucked
for free. But thank you for the kind words, Viking Bitch. All right, so we're gonna wrap this one up tonight, and that's good because we'll save a little bit for one in the future here. And the Jessica Jones one will probably go. We'll open it up afterwards on Sunday, so that's gonna be. While I got you here, let me get to the website. And
nope, I'm gone.
No, you're gone. Okay, so Jessica Jones is gonna be 8:00 tomorrow night. I might move that up to 7. Can we move that up to 7, Dennis?
I think you had it at 7 originally,
but it's at 8:00. Yeah, so we're gonna move it to 7.
Move it to 7.
And then part 2 on Sunday. And why do I have that so late? What the hell? Oh, okay, because I'm reading it wrong. Okay, it's at 7:00 on Saturday. Duh, I was reading Friday night. And then Sunday it's at 3. And Counterparts at 7:30. Then I'm going to do Monday at 12, and then Ash vs. Evil Dead is going to be at 7:30, 7:00. Then X-Files, and it all starts over again. Krypton is in 2 weeks. That's our next newest show. Any final words, man?
People of Earth, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
Oh, when we get? I've done suicide prevention with people on Facebook. Do you have a plan? Yes, it's awful oversharing. I also enjoy listening to always. Do I have a plan? My plan is that one day at a time, Annie. One day at a time. That's my plan. I have done lots of that when working at Juvie. Oh, that's right. I don't need to do that online too. She was talking to her. Yeah. I've dealt with a lot of that stuff too. Working sponsoring people. I deal with it every day. And on the phone at 3 a.m. Oh yes, I've dealt with that. And you know what? If they're crying out for help in that sense on Facebook, that's fine. I mean, cry for help anywhere you need to. If it gets to the suicidal level, I get that. But I think it's more of an attention seeking thing. I don't think it's like, something super serious. There's degrees of it, I don't mean to, it's very awkward for everybody when they do that. Okay. But life is full of awkward moments. Being a parent is a non-stop series of awkward moments. So and they come up whenever they want to. It's really, really strange. Awkward questions from your kids at very inappropriate times. You know how it goes. So yeah, no shit on that. But yeah, I guess we'll take it out now.
Actually, you want to thank our Patreons?
We're going to thank our patrons. That is a good call. Our patrons are, I got to get to my notifications here, Viking Bitch, Apple Crow, Fan Own Rough, Pen Farm Girl, wow, this one was from yesterday. Arturo Espinoza is our newest patron. Thank you. Sir.
Thank you very much.
Arturo, we are humbled. Shakuri Lama, Lawrence Howe, Richard Seth Jones. Going down for some more here. I know I'm missing just Eric. Simply Eric. We'll call him Simply Eric, even though it's Eric. The aforementioned Viking Crow and Isaiah Norton. Those are our patrons. We now have 11 patrons. That is so exciting.
Thank you, guys. And I want to thank all of our people that were in the chat here today. Jody, Viking Bitch, Annie Colton, Johnny, Pappas, Cisa Mays actually appeared. Hey, nice. Mark Maginot, thanks for showing up. Danny Rowe. We also had Ghost World as well, who had to take off. Lavish Kumar, thank you for showing up. Penn Farm Girl, thank you for showing up as well. And I know we got a couple other people that were in earlier in the chat, so I need to scroll all the way up. Arturo Espinoza, there he is. Garcia, he was here as well earlier on. And Forrest Campbell, thank you all.
Run, Forrest, run.
I'm sure he hasn't heard that one before.
I know, Jen A. Yeah. So you want to say it again? You want to say
People of Earth, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
And let me get to the screen there. Sorry, screwed that one up. May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Until next time, everybody. Good night.
Good night.